Hello all, this is Dr. Shilpi Reddy from KIMS Cuddles Mother and Child Center, Kondapur, Hyderabad. Today we are going to talk about gestational diabetes. What is gestational diabetes and how do we take care of gestational diabetes? When we have to talk about diabetes and diabetes in pregnancy, there are two different entities. There are three different types of diabetes. One is type 1 diabetes where there is insulin deficiency, and type 2 diabetes where there is adequate insulin but the insulin receptor sensitivity is lesser, and gestational diabetes, which is a phenomena unique for the pregnant woman. So in pregnancy what happens is, when you have the pregnant hormones running in your body, that pregnant hormones and the pregnancy changes have an influence on the insulin sensitivity. Insulin, which is the primary hormone that regulates glucose metabolism. So what does insulin do? Insulin tries to pump the glucose that is there in the bloodstream into the cells so that the cells burn glucose and produce energy. So if the insulin receptor sensitivity is decreased or the insulin receptor working phenomena is disturbed in pregnancy, what happens is there is adequate insulin but the insulin does not work to pump the glucose from the bloodstream into the cells, causing high sugar level in the bloodstream and the body that causes gestational diabetes. So gestational diabetes is unique in pregnant women, and the incidence of gestational diabetes is increasing day by day thanks to our lifestyle and the rise in number of obese women and higher BMIs in pregnancy, that gestational diabetes is increasing. The risk factors for gestational diabetes are higher weight. That can be because of already existing obesity, existing diabetes which has worsened in pregnancy, and there are other problems like hypertension in pregnancy which can also work for gestational diabetes. There are problems that are there in multiple pregnancies like twins and triplets and quadruplets, and age above 35 years can also impact gestational diabetes. Higher order of pregnancies can also impact go towards gestational diabetes. So all these parameters and factors which influence the effect of insulin on the cellular structure can cause gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes has to be compulsorily screened for every pregnant woman. In India, we have definitely higher incidence of gestational diabetes compared to the Western world, and Indians, wherever they are, definitely they are more prone for gestational diabetes. So it is mandatory that you have to do glucose screening at booking of pregnancy itself. At least, if not possible, you can do a random blood sugar which will indicate if there is an incidence of higher sugars. But yes, history of PCOD, history of obesity, family history of diabetes, family history of gestational diabetes, family history of obesity, multi-order pregnancy. As I have told you about the risk factors, any of these risk factors are there in history itself. You definitely have to elicit the necessity to do a glycosylated hemoglobin which will give you the average sugars in the last 3 months, and also subject every pregnant woman to at least glucose challenge test by giving 100 grams of glucose and checking the blood sugar at any given point of time after giving sugar of 100 grams after 1 hour. So if GCT, glucose challenge test, is more than 140, definitely you can have an indication towards having gestational diabetes. And GTT, glucose tolerance test, with 75 grams of glucose and the fasting value of more than 90, the 1 hour value of more than 140 and the 2 hour value of more than 120, you can analyze the situation of having deranged blood glucose levels. So it is important that at booking for all high risk pregnant women, at least HbA1c for all high risk pregnant women, and for low risk pregnant women at booking random blood sugar and a GCT or GTT at the end of first and second and third trimesters, on an average, looking at the any other high risk factors that they are dealing with. So this is how monitoring of gestational diabetes has to be done, and also screening is one of the important mechanisms to diagnose gestational diabetes. Lot more enforcement is done on screening of women for gestational diabetes, because it is one of the most preventable comorbidities that we can deal with pregnant women. And if the screening is done on a regular basis based on your population and the kind of high risk people that you are seeing, definitely you will be able to filter out everybody who is high risk for gestational diabetes and detect it as early as possible. Gestational diabetes has a varied range of treatment options. If you are borderline, if you are mild, moderate and severe, definitely the grading is done based on the sugar level itself. But it is very, very important after the screening test is done, and if it is screened positive, you have to definitely do the home glucose monitoring and check how glucose levels are faring. And it is very important that we do a proper consultation with a dietitian to correct all possible methods of dealing with the exact ratios of carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the diet. Give them a complex carbohydrate diet, high protein diet and good fat intake, so that we balance the nutritional status of the mother, and especially concentrate on their social diet, which they already are taking, and necessary small changes in terms of the 3 major meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and also 3 snack times, which to continuously supply nice amount of protein and balanced complex carbohydrates in their diet. This is really, really important to take one leap forward in improving the glucose metabolism. And it is very important that dietitian has to have a one-on-one role when we are managing gestational diabetes. Along with the dietitian, definitely enforce physical activity, some kind of exercises like walking, yoga, meditation, some kind of upper body and lower body activities, and minimum amount of activity that is required to keep your physical fitness. Along with these things, an endocrinologist has to look into the aspect of controlling sugars. If through diet the sugars are controlled, very well and good. If through diet the sugars are not controlled, then come the oral hypoglycemic agents. Some of them are very safe in pregnancy, and you can advocate the use of some oral hypoglycemic agents like tablets and all. If the tablets are not working, definitely you have to step on to the usage of insulin. But yes, definitely fasting blood sugar less than 90, 1 hour blood sugars less than 140 and 2 hours blood sugar less than 120 is the ideal target for achieving. This has to achieved either with diet or diet and medication together, and lifestyle changes. And you definitely have to reinforce the role of home glucose monitoring. That means the woman has to regularly monitor her sugars at home all by herself with the use of a glucometer, and definitely the glucometer has to be titrated to the blood samples that we take from the venous system, that is the sugars that we analyze in the lab. So the glucometer and lab values have to be corrected, and the monitoring has to be done on one particular instrument on a regular basis, and all the values have to be written. So it is mandatory that anybody on insulin definitely have to do pre-meal and post-meal glucose levels on a regular basis, be it breakfast, lunch and dinner. For anybody who is on oral hypoglycemic agents and on diet, definitely post-meal fasting and post-meal sugars are important. Sometimes we advocate them to do 1 hour post-meal, and sometimes we advocate them to do 2 hour post-meal, depending on what kind of features that we are seeing. And along with these things, anybody with a history of gestational diabetes definitely have to go a thorough antenatal care with good screening mechanisms for their sugar and other parameters, and also screening for urine infections, vaginal infections, and proper level 3, level 4 ultrasounds for NT, TIFA, fetal echo and growth scans. These predict the well-being of the fetus and also look forward for any kind of genetical abnormalities that you can look forward, and also the growth rate of the baby. If it is high and the water level, if it is high, they depict that the sugars are not controlled. So retrospectively you need to control the sugars looking on these findings also. Precautions have to be discussed, very important, because gestational diabetes is definitely preventable. As far as managing your BMI before getting pregnant, it is really important. Anybody having an opportunity to correct your BMI, yes, 25 to 26 BMI, people have lesser chances of gestational diabetes. And history of PCOD, very well control of cycles on a regular cycle basis, and BMI correction, definitely you will have lower risk of gestational diabetes in PCOD, because PCOD is also one of the risk factor for having gestational diabetes at a later date. And family history, people definitely have to rectify their sugars before entering. And not only this, good physical activity, nice diets or diet alterations are really important in prevention aspect. Not only this, anybody with higher BMIs, their weight gain in pregnancy have to be rectified. Anybody with lower BMIs, you can have a weight gain up to 10 to 15 kg. The correct BMI people, definitely less than 10 kg, and higher BMI people, less than 7 to 8 kgs is the weight gain that has to be advised in pregnancy. According to this, a dietitian has to come into and step in forward to balance the carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the diet, along with the micronutrient management. And a very good vitamin D level is really important for management of sugars in anybody. So everybody have to be advocated the benefits of having vitamin D if they are low, and definitely on a regular basis you have to advocate these things. And pre-existing illnesses have to be rectified, and monitoring is really important before pregnancy, during pregnancy and all throughout pregnancy in every aspect as discussed.